Today, 10 years after he was shot and killed, the memorial for Michael Brown Jr. has returned to Canfield Drive in Ferguson. This morning, we will continue to look at the legacy of Michael Brown and how the community is healing 10 years after his death.
A beautiful weekend on the way, but next week, several days of rain. We'll track how much rain is on the way.
Stocking up on school supplies, how you can get your kid ready for the classroom for free.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, August 9th. I'm Michelle Lee.
And I'm Sydney Stallworth. The 2024 Paris Olympics run all weekend long, but it's our last morning with live reports from Rennie Knott in Paris. We got to get on out to Rennie this morning. Oh, man.
Rennie, what are you working on today? And I'm sorry to say
earlier. You had to bring it up. You had to bring it up.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Well, earlier I said, oh, it's all work and no play. And, you know, Rennie was like, I work 15 hours a day.
He's working,
Sorry
he's
about
definitely
that,
working
Rennie.
very hard.
I didn't write that line. I didn't write that line.
Oh, it's just a few hours more than what I work at home. But now, coming up, we're going to hear from Brandon Miller, who ran the men's 800 meters in the semifinals this morning. And we'll also hear from Freddie Crittenden, who ran last night in the finals of the men 110-meter hurdles. Both guys are great inspirational stories and something special for the kids moving forward. So if they want to chase their dreams, they now know a couple of role models that they might want to keep an eye on. We'll have all that coming up in just a bit live here in Paris. Back to you guys.
Cannot wait. Thanks so much, Rennie. We want to know what your favorite Olympic moment has been so far. I mean, you have to pick just one. Let us know a couple. Text your answers to 314-425-5355.
All right, guys, well, it's time to check our weather forecast, and we are starting off with a beautiful sky over downtown. You can see the clouds clearing away, and we are on the back end of a cold front. I got to tell you, this is the kind of weather to get out and enjoy good air quality. It's going to feel like September today, 75 by lunchtime, and we're headed to see a high of 80 degrees. Yeah, that's it for today in St. Louis. After the weekend, we will have rain chances develop beginning on Monday. In fact, several days of rain through next week. I'll track this out, plus a look at those numbers for the weekend and a check of our area lakes forecast if you're headed there as well. All of that coming up this hour. Back to you guys.
Today, many will remember a moment that shook the nation 10 years ago, the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson.
This morning, we do have team coverage. Diamond Palmer is in Webster Groves highlighting an exhibit that offers healing for the community through art.
But first, let's start with Travis Cummings in North County with the events honoring Michael Brown.
Michelle and Sydney, there is so much planned here in Ferguson and across the bi-state this weekend to honor Michael Brown's life. You know, his family says there has been a lot of healing and a lot of progress, but they want to keep his memory at the forefront on this 10-year anniversary. His father, Michael Brown Sr., is doing a lot this weekend. He's done a lot this week already through his organization, Chosen for Change, which brings us here to the Ferguson Empowerment Center, where there's a beautiful art exhibit curated inside. I got a chance to check it out earlier this week, but I want to tell you about some of the great things happening here to memorialize Michael Brown's life. In just a few hours at 9 a.m., community members can join the All Roads Lead to Ferguson Unity Walk. The march will go from Normandy High School on St. Charles Rock Road to the area on Canfield Drive, where Brown was shot and killed by a Ferguson police officer. The walk will be followed by a community day there from 11 to 3, and then a moment of silence will be held from 11:55 to noon. You can also catch the As I See You exhibit at the Ferguson Empowerment Center, where we are this morning, from noon to 5. Then tomorrow, on Saturday, there will be a Heal Our Cities concert at Harris Stowe State University from noon to 3. And then on Monday, there is a Youth Day of Justice at the Deaconess Foundation on Van Deventer with a press conference from 11 to 1, and community defense training starts at noon.
The ultimate goal is to assure that people never forget who Michael Brown Jr. was. And the work that we do and the events that we put on is a reflection of who he was. And we want to just make sure people come out and show up and be a part of the events to commemorate a life that was lost way too soon.
In about 30 minutes, we'll take a look at other organizations remembering Michael Brown's life this weekend and really creating unity across our region. Live in Ferguson this morning, Travis Cummings, 5 on your side. And let's toss over to Diamond Palmer, who's taking a look at some other things that they're doing in the community this weekend to memorialize Brown's life. Diamond.
Well, Travis, we're here at Webster University, and this is the place where more than a dozen artists and poets came together to create the Ferguson and Beyond art show. Now, this art show included artistic responses to the decade of social upheaval. I spoke to one poet who walked me through her process and told me how art can and cannot heal wounds.
I found myself grieving all over again. Being angry all over again. Being incensed all over again.
Shiraz Gourmand is not just a poet, she's also an activist and a photographer. And one of more than a dozen creatives who are part of Webster University's art show Ferguson and Beyond. The exhibition is comprised of paintings, sculptures, video, and poetry from artists of color from the St. Louis region and beyond.
Because it mirrors what the artists see in society, and indeed in this case, what the artists saw in the streets of Ferguson.
And in this case, they saw Michael Brown Jr.'s lifeless body in the street. Gourmand grew up in St. Louis's College Hill neighborhood and describes her piece as this.
It's a very short line that says salt in the wound of the psyche.
Her piece is layered with the Department of Justice report on the Ferguson Police Department, taking the words and placing them on glass and salt. She says putting the piece together was meditative, but it didn't heal all her wounds.
Yes, there were times that I had to get up and walk away. Because I would read something and I would just be like, you know what? let me go and take a breath, because this is not resolved. We're still dealing with this as a society.
Healthcare professionals at SSM Health say using art as an outlet can decrease depression and anxiety, but acknowledge many times there's suppression of emotions in the Black community surrounding traumatic events.
But having a trusted, respectful psychiatrist in general, because there's a shortage of Black doctors and Black psychiatrists, but seeing an appropriate professional can help everyone.
If the world does not wake up now, we are in trouble. If this region doesn't wake up now, we are in trouble.
Now, Webster University will continue to work with artists a part of this exhibition to recreate the display that Brown's stepmother created just 5 years ago. Reporting live here in Webster Groves, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Well, we have more coverage streaming on 5+, including the Missouri Foundation for Health's Dr. Dwayne Proctor reading his essay about his memories of the unrest in Ferguson. Just search KSDK on your Roku, Amazon, or Apple TV to download the free app.
All right, good morning. Jumping in here real quick to let you know what you're facing if you hit the roads here in the next 20 minutes or so. We're near the brewery right now, 55 going northbound. That's the direction we are looking, and this is about the typical volume so far this morning, even though these are world-weary drivers who've just come from all of that construction on 55. They are moving. It's right where the arrow is here, looking at all of the big roads. You just don't have much volume. It's that Friday morning volume, so that's a good thing. You do have the areas of construction, but not causing delays here yet. When that happens, you'll be the first to know. Another take of traffic coming in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Did you guys know the average American family spends almost $900 on school supplies? We'll tell you how you can check off your kids' list for free this weekend.